Hi guys. Today I'm here gonna be talking about the game of Jumanji that I've been having. So I already reviewed all the Jumanji films, including with the Jumanji anime TV series and that stuff. And yeah, you see this? This is the game of Jumanji. This is the game that I had. And I know I've seen this in the films, right? Yeah, I know. Um, so, before we talk about the games, talk about the films and that stuff. So that in the original Jumanji film from 1995, this game Jumanji, it used to be like a board game in the original film, and I always hear like the drum beat noises and that stuff, and like the animals and that stuff. The animals all come out of the game. So yeah, so in the beginning of the original Jumanji film, Alan and Sarah played the game of Alan and Sarah played the game of Jumanji, and in the game of Jumanji, it pulls Alan right into like the game of Jumanji, pulls him right into it, and he got sucked into the game. And then a few years later, he came back after two children. Judy and Peter played the game, and then and then so all the animals came out from the game, like the rhinos and the monkeys and like the lion and so many of the animals came out from the game. As I forgot to mention, the movie takes place in Brantford-Champshire. Yeah, Brantford-Champshire is when it takes place in. The movie started off in the 1800s and then in the 1900s. And then the villain in it was Van Pout. I did show him in the game. He appeared in the cover out of all of it. He appeared in the cover. Wow. Oh. He appeared in the game and that stuff, and then at the end of the first movie, Alan shouted the name Jumanji. Then they all got sucked back into the board game and that stuff, and and then. Oh no! Oh, that's right. Then there was a second Jumanji film called Welcome to the Jungle from 2017. The movie took place after the events of the first movie from 1995, and then this one, the game of Jumanji became like a video game and that stuff. Became like a Nintendo video game. The movie started off when you see this guy from the beach picking up the game of Jumanji, which in the last film we heard the drum beat noises and that stuff, and he gave it to his son Alex Freak. He wasn't really interested in the game. He was interested like in video games, and then later during the night, the game Jumanji was hear the banging noises, hear the drum beat noises, and then Alan started to play the game of Jumanji, and then he got sucked into the game of Jumanji. Remind to what happened to Alan at the end of in the first movie. What happened to Alan Parrish. And then years later, we meet Spencer and his friends. It's Spencer, Fred, Spencer, Anthony, Bethany, and Martha. And so then in school they found the game of Jumanji, and then they picked their avatars, and then they got sucked in. And then Spencer became Dr. Bravestone. Then Anthony became Moose Finbar, and then Martha became Ruby Roundhouse, and Bethany became Professor Sheldon Oberon. Dr. Bravestone was an archaeologist. Moose Finbar was a zoologist. Ruby Roundhouse is a killer of man. Finally, Sheldon Oberon is a professor who can only read the map. And then they meet this guy named Nigel Billingsley, who was a non-playable character. He explained to them that the game of Jumanji was under a curse from Professor Russell Van Pout, who stole the Jaguar Eye from the statue. And that they were on a mission to find the Jaguar Eye and to place it back. So as the game go on, they've been losing levels, and then they run to Van Pout. They run to another player who turns out to be Alex Freak, the guy that got sucked into the game of Jumanji from the beginning of the movie. I forgot to remind you, his house and all that stuff was all abandoned because Alex disappeared into the game of Jumanji. And then they complete their last mission, and then they restore the Jaguar Eye, and then the game got restored. And Nigel Billingsley leads them farewell, and then they all get sent back to the real world. And this time they found that Alex's house was not the same like how it was from the beginning of the movie. It was a new house. So Alex finally meets them. And then in school they destroyed the game of Jumanji. Then now we see Jumanji Free, the next level from 2019. Jumanji Free picks up after the events of the second movie. So that 3 years later, they're hanging out with their own life. They are congratulated from high school, and they're in college, and they plan to meet up on the weekend. Well, Spencer's in New York, and he's having. Spencer has not been doing good because he's been having a lot of work, and now Spencer went home, and he meets up with his grandpa Eddie, played by Danny DeVito. And then, it's not at nighttime. Spencer kind of like reset the game of Jumanji, and then he got sucked into the Jumanji game again. So now, Anthony, Martha, and Bethany meet up at Nora's restaurant. Yeah, Aunt Nora Chopper, do you remember her from the original Jumanji film? Do you remember her? So his friends are getting worried about him, so they head to the house to look for him, and they discover that he got sucked. He went back into Jumanji, so they all get him. But Bethany wasn't sucked into the game this time. So they all went in different bodies. I know The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jet Black, and Karen Gillan all played the the video game characters. The Rock played Dr. Bravestone, and Kevin Hart plays Moose Finbar, and Karen Gillan plays Ruby Roundhouse, and Jet Black plays the professor guy. So Eddie now has become the professor, and then Milo has become the zoologist. So Anthony has become the map guy this time, and Martha's back again in her avatar as Ruby Roundhouse. And then so meet up with Nigel Bones play again. Tells him that the game of Jumanji is in danger again from an evil warlord named Jorgen the Brutal. So he took the jewel he took the falcon heart from a different village. And he's the one who killed Dr. Bravestone's parents. And then so as the game goes on, they're losing lives again, like what happened last time. So they head to the restaurant. They head to this diner where they see that Spencer is in the form of a woman video game player. Her name is Ming Fleetfoot, and she's played by Aquafina. And so he tells them why he wanted to go back, because he thought that he was going to be Bravestone. So meanwhile, back in Brantford, Bethany meets up with Alex to help her how to get back into Jumanji. Then jump back into Jumanji, where they escape from the diner, and then the next morning they fight all these monkeys and that stuff. And they meet up with Alex, who's once again in his player as Captain Sheldon Oberon. Captain C playing McDonough. That's right. And so Bethany has become a horse. Her name is Cyclone. So they jump into the river and they all get sent back to their original bodies, except for Martha and Alex. And so Eddie and Milo have now been captured by Jorgen's henchmen. They sneak in and they take in Falcon Jewel, the Falcon Heart, and they show it to the sun. The game of Jumanji has been cured once again. It's Nigel bids on farewell, but Milo doesn't want to leave Jumanji. He wanted to stay in Jumanji. And so they all get sent back again. And so later they meet up at the diner restaurant of Norai, and then like in the mid-credit scene, we see the heater guy showing up at Spencer's house. He finds the game of Jumanji and he touches it, and all the ostriches, animals, all begin coming out from the game, and then they're now talking about the animated series of Jumanji, which came out the same year in 1990. This one took place out of the events of the first movie, where Judy and Peter found the game of Jumanji and they were playing with it, and then they got sucked into the jungle and stuff. They meet up with Alan, who got sucked into the game of Jumanji for years, and they meet up with the Haunter Van Pout. So they finish the level of each game, and then they jump out from the game, and then that's how it ended. But now today I'm going to be talking about the game of Jumanji. So this is the game of Jumanji. Yes, the Saucer says Jumanji. It says it's a game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. And Cardinal. Oh, and here, in here you read some things. Look, he reads some things. Jumanji, a game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. Draw and discard. Adventure, beware, do not begin unless you do to finish. In the jungle, you must stay until disasters roll away. Yeah, like this is the piece of that that says Jumanji. And no. Yeah, it's the piece of the rhino. And and these are all the cards of the game, of the cards. And then and these are all the pieces of the game of Jumanji. I knew it. Fucking. Yeah, these are all the pieces of the game of Jumanji. Yeah, these are the pieces of Jumanji. These are like the dices and all of the riddles and that stuff. Okay. See, yeah, these are the dices and that stuff. Then once you play the game, you have to be careful because you don't want to cheat. So, because remember what happened to Peter in the original Jumanji film? Yeah, remember what happened? He turned into a monkey because he tried to cheat. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, look, there's more. Look, there's more. Adventures beware, do not begin unless you intend to finish. Danger lurks at every turn, and on every turn as you embark upon this adventure, decode the secret rhyming messages, then race against time to roll the dice that can save you and your fellow. Players from the vicious croc, snapping jaws, the stealthy lion's ferocious bite, or the change of the trumpeting elephants. You know what? Never cross your opponents by strategically placing a rampaging rhino to block the path as you scurry toward the center of the board. You venture into the world of Jumanji if you dare, but be warned you may not be able to escape the jungle clutches. A real-life reimagining of the original motion picture and book. Game board, word pulse, rhino figure, sound timer, number die, rescue die, danger cards, card decoder, label sheet, instruction sheet. Yeah, it's the same thing. A game for those who seek to find a way to leave the world behind. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for this video. Cause I'm... Oh my god. So many. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's completely it for the video. And I'm... Yeah. So I wanted to thank you all for joining my little recap video about the Jumanji video game and the board game and that stuff. And and thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. So I'm gonna put this game back. So I hope that you guys are all for enjoying. And anyways, don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you guys next time, and goodbye everyone, see you soon.